So I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, I was here, Marcel, and I was talking about something with a guy named Jimmy Wales. Is there a photo? Anyway, Jimmy and I both had the same idea at the same time, which was, wow, a search, when you use Google, is kind of broken. If you pull up the average Google search, you'll find 3 or 4 pieces of spam. And a lot of people 3 or 4 years ago came to the same conclusion. Wow, spam is a huge problem in Google. And so Jimmy and I both had the same idea, which is if you put a human editor with a search engine like Google, you might be able to make a new company. And he tried to make Wikia Search, and I tried to make Mahalo Search. And I went down to Sand Hill Road and raised some money from the same guys who backed Google, Sequoia. And we built an interesting company where we would put search results on half of the page and a little bit of content. And we thought, this is more interesting than Google, right? Content plus search results. And it got us into the top 400 sites in the United States. And we said, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Let's double the amount of content and put a pretty long article with some search results, and we'll get to the top 250. But then something happened. We stopped growing. And this is one of the most brutal things as an entrepreneur, when you have great success for a year or two, and then it stops. And you have month after month of flat growth. Is anybody here in the internet business? Have you experienced this? When everything just goes sideways and you want to kill yourself, and everything you do just doesn't make a change. And so we looked deeply at ourselves and said, why is this occurring to us? Why are we failing? Why are we going sideways? Why can't we crack into the top 200 sites or top 100 sites? And we looked at our product and we said, wow, when we are teaching people how to do something, like how to play guitar, they really like what we're doing, but they don't really care about the search results anymore. I wonder why. And the reason is pretty obvious. This is what Google looked like in 2007. Everybody remembers 10 blue links and maybe a little bit of news. It's actually interesting. If you look at the top there, Steve Ballmer makes a pretty good prediction. He claims the iPhone will not succeed. It will be a bust. I think he's a pretty smart guy. Anyway, if you do a similar search, like a search for Steve Jobs today, in 2001, as you can see, Google puts images on the page and content, video. It's a much different search experience, right? They've advanced it. And this is one of the things you have to know when you're an entrepreneur. Hey, maybe the world doesn't need what I'm doing. And this is very hard to take. And I was devastated. Why can't I make this work? And you work really hard, and you come in every day, and you got a team of 50 people, and you're burning these venture capitalists' money, and you can't make it work. So we looked deeply at what we were doing, and we realized, what other than the search results are people enjoying? And it turned out they liked our articles, they liked our videos, and they liked our sort of question and answer service we created. And we pivoted the company from human-powered search about a year ago into a company where you could learn anything. And we went from a sort of a technique, human-powered search, to a real mission, something virtuous. And it changed everything in the company. Everybody loved coming to work again. Everybody was happy, and the growth came back. And I said, wow, this is great. And I think Kara Swisher said pivoting is when you lay off a lot of people. Actually, pivoting is when your first idea is not as great as you thought it was. In fact, maybe your first idea sucked, but your second idea is really good. And if you just keep coming up with new ideas, eventually you will find a good one. So I thought I'd talk a little bit today about how to know when to pivot, because every entrepreneur will go through this. And what I've come to learn as an entrepreneur, as I've gotten a little older, is listening is really important. When I was younger, I talked a lot. A lot of you were subjected to this many times, and I apologize on behalf of having to listen to me all those years. But I love to listen now. And the thing I listened most to was, we set up an email address, and we said, if we can help you with anything, just email us at requests@Mahalo. And every day we'd get a couple of these emails coming in, and then it became 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 emails a day of people saying, can you teach me this? Can you tell me how to play this song on guitar? And they started coming from all over the world, China, Germany, everywhere. And we looked, so that was the first thing, listening to the customers. The next thing, we listened to the metrics. We started looking very deeply at Google Analytics And we found that a couple of videos we had created started getting millions of views, and said, wow, that's pretty spectacular. And then we listened to the market, and this is a picture I have outside my office. And it's actually a Rorschach test. I put this picture outside my office because everybody has a different interpretation of it. And one of the most common questions is it real? Which is a certain type of person. Another one is that you in the kayak? And the third one is, did the person die? These are all very interesting questions, which I will not answer. No, it's a real picture in South Africa, and the person did not die. But at certain points as an entrepreneur, you have to know when there are bigger fish than you and when they're about to destroy you. Bing and Google have been getting 5% better a year. Human-powered search was a great idea, but it was only a good execution. And where I thought, and Jimmy Wales, and two guys who've actually done a couple of things that worked, we both looked at the problem and said, if there are 3 pieces of spam in every Google search result, we can make this 30, 40, 50% better by taking them out. What we both didn't realize was, if there are only 3 spam results, that means there's 7 good results. And most of the time, people only click on 3 links. And Marissa Mayer was here, and she was sitting in the front row, and I remember it. And afterwards, she said, I don't think it's going to work. And I was like, no, here's all the reasons why it's going to work. But I wasn't listening. And she gave me a couple of reasons of why it might not work. And I was like, why didn't I listen to Marissa? Listen to the market as an entrepreneur. And then finally, listen to your team. This is one of the most important things I realized. I would be coming to work every day and trying to get 50 people to work on human-powered search. And they'd start working on it. And then when I turned my back, they would all start working on teaching people stuff and doing videos and whatnot. We moved the company, as I said before, from a goal and a technique, human-powered search, to a mission. And if you are pivoting, you are in good company. In fact, a lot of the great companies of our time are pivots. Groupon, Andrew Mason spoke earlier. When I met him and he told me he had done this site, The Point, where people did petitions and stuff, I said, wow, that's a terrible idea. It's not going to work. And he, at some point, realized it as well. And it wasn't a terrible idea, but it was a small idea. And he moved to Groupon. As you know, Flickr started as a game, Nintendo playing cards, Nokia rubber boots, Pixar. I think Nokia is going back to rubber boots. That's what I heard. Hey! Great company. Pixar was actually animation tools. They made tools, and then they realized nobody was using the tools right. Screw it, we're going to make our own movies. And Twitter was, of course, a podcasting company that failed. And they also realized nobody in the company wanted to work on podcasting. So they got out of it. Today, Mahalo has all of these authors, 75 different teachers that we bring to our studio in Los Angeles to make videos that teach people how to do things, whether it's math or science. Has anybody ever heard of the Khan Academy? Anybody? A good number of people. When I saw the Khan Academy, I said, my God, that's such a brilliant idea. What if they did that for cooking and guitar and everything else? And we then hired 55 video editors, and our video library took this curve, which these are the curves you like. These are the curves that make life good when you come to work. And the curve of the number of videos started to directly correlate with the number of views. Today, Mahalo is the 160th largest site in the United States, and we are probably one of the top 5 partners on YouTube. We get over 1 million views a day. And we're relaunching the product today in 4.0. And I appreciate your time and being at such an amazing event. And I'm looking forward to doing more listening and learning. And as part of that, I actually asked my employees to make a video of their experience in a developer-driven culture. One of the things I learned from Facebook, although they've made a tremendous amount of mistakes and privacy problems, the one thing that Facebook has done very well is they let the developers, the employees, run the ship. The pictures on Facebook and the photo sharing was done by 2 developers over 2 weeks, and nobody ever saw the code when they pushed it out. Of course, that led to maybe not thinking about the product fully and people being able to check you in to a photo without your permission. So that's not necessarily a great thing, but developer-driven culture is the future of technology companies. And here's a little video for you.
The most exciting thing about Mahalo 4 is it really sets Mahalo up to be really the best place to learn anything.
What Mahalo is all about is providing you with what you're looking for immediately.
It's a new beginning for the company and the website in general and the team.
One of the things that we want to do at Mahalo is have more content, more pages, more things for our users to learn.
From a developer's perspective, Mahalo is cutting edge because we have taken all of this new and exciting technology and really embraced it. We bring together 3 crucial ways for learning on the internet. We've got content, we've got questions, and we've got video.
When we were creating the homepage, we wanted to think about what a user coming to Mahalo.com would want to see right when they hit the front page.
Coolest feature of the homepage, probably the infinite scroll.
You just don't have to sit there and click next and next and next and next, or previous or next.
And you see, this was happening yesterday, this was happening last week, this was happening last year.
It keeps the timeline of Mahalo users and what they like and what they're interested in in a progressive, intuitive way.
Live Answers is another pretty cool feature. It's very cutting edge technology-wise, so it's exciting from that standpoint.
The coolest part about Live Answers is seeing obviously other people's interactions on the page.
There's no lag time, there's no wait for a response, there's no sit on the page and refresh it, there's no wait for an email.
And I think being able to do that in real time is a really, really great feature.
Embed Everything is an amazing feature of the Mahalo 4 platform. Every section on a Mahalo page has a little embed button.
You just copy and paste the code onto your blog, and there it is. Like, you have the section. If it gets edited on our site, it will be edited on your site.
We'll take care of generating the content for you and allow it to be a tool in your toolbook.
Page creation, the whole process now is really easy.
It needs to be simple, it needs to be fast.
So you can just start by clicking somewhere and just start typing.
And you'll be able to drag on, say, an image section or a text section.
And 3 clicks of a mouse and the page is built.
The idea was to have a developer-driven product, so I was trying to make something that I'd like to use.
To me, Learn Anything means that I can go to Mahalo, start researching a topic that I might not know anything about, and come away from Mahalo knowing as much as I want to know about that topic.
It's kind of the model that drives every decision we make.
And I remember the day Jason Calacanis came in and sort of stood on his desk and yelled out to everyone, "We're here to learn anything."
Go to YouTube, you only get videos. Go to Wikipedia, you only get long articles that are full of information, but the thing that we have is everything. We're building ourselves a foundation on which we can build a skyscraper.
And then be ready to take this architecture and ramp it up to 1 million pages, to 10 million pages, to 100 million pages.
Mahalo 4 is really going to be a framework for us to continue the build and help people find information they can trust and help people learn anything. And it's going to be something we're going to be able to build on top of for years to come.
I just wanted to, since my developers put so much work into it, let you meet them. Sorry. Anyway, hopefully I can come back in another 3 or 4 years and we'll be in the top 25 sites and all of you will have learned something. Thank you again, Dr. Berta, for having us at such a wonderful event, and Steffi and Marcel. This is truly the best event in all of Europe. But I would also say, well, I said that 3 years ago, that it was the best event in all of Europe. It's actually now, I would say, in the top 2 or 3 events in the world for me personally to go to. And it really is a treat. You put on such an amazing show. You guys are so generous, and continued success.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.